What's going on, YouTubers, gamers and hobbyists, and welcome to this tutorial of the classic Heroquest Orc with Cleaver. And I'm super excited to be doing this because I have a great fondness for the Heroquest game. Of course, I had it many moons ago. Now, as you can imagine, this model that I purchased from eBay needs a lot of cleanup. More so in terms of washing off the oily residue from 20 plus years of handling. Yes, there's a couple of mold lines, but that's hardly any really compared to some models you see. Anyway, I decided to go ahead and prime it with Vallejo's Surface Primer German Panzer Grey. And I did this by hand brush, because although I know the model, I wanted a far more intimate relationship with the model as a whole, and I really I just had to connect with it on that level. Yes, I could have sprayed it, but this isn't about conserving time, folks. This is all about getting a model up to how I want it, and what my aim with this model was to reproduce a classic look that I remember whilst making a little bit of improvement. So we're going in with Warg Flesh by Citadel. Now, in the old days, it would have been a case of a few block colours, and that's it. Call it done. Wouldn't have even sealed it. Why? Because I didn't know about anything like that. I didn't know about washes, the shades, the glazes, the highlights, and all the other good things that you have now. Not to mention textures and glues and all the information that you pick up as a hobbyist. But that said, I had such great fun with it, and I just wanted to gain a sense of the classic feel. So we're just blocking in a few colours. We're going to do a couple of shade washes and a couple of highlights. So there's a slight improvement, but it still has the feel of the classic. So there's the skin all done. Now we go in with Citadel Lead Belcher next, with some airbrush thinner, again by Vallejo. It's great for thinning down your metallics, folks. Now, in the old days, of course, I would have just painted any silver really, over the weapons, and that would have been it. I would have called that job done. If I'd have had any sort of red, that I would have used that for the blood and so on and so forth. But we're just doing all the silver bits. His armband is what I wanted, and I wanted his armor and belt to be silver as well. Zandri Dust is the color I used, with some Lamea Medium by Citadel. I hasten to add, I wanted to thin this down enough because this is probably the largest area on the body, aside from the skin. It's probably 50-50 as to which is the larger area. But the tunic, I wanted that done, and this is the colour I wanted it in. Sort of a light browny, sandy colour. And yeah, the Lamea Medium just helps me to thin it down and maintain a bit of control, as it's such a large area. I don't want it like spilling over the edges or anything, and or going over his arms and things like that. It thins it down whilst maintaining control of the pigmentation, which you just don't seem to get with water. For the most part, water's fine to water these acrylics down with, but sometimes you just want a little bit more control, and that's what I wanted in this case, hence the Lamea Medium. But yeah, as you can see, it went on quite easily, the tunic. And as I say, in the old days, this would probably have been close to done. Although we're speeding up the process somewhat by the speed of the video. It is a case of be careful as you go. A Baron Black, of course, for his boots. Now, I would definitely have called it job done at this stage in the olden days. You know, if I'd had my Heroquest set and I don't know however many of these bad boys to do, I would have done it the simplest scheme that I could, whilst getting a certain look. Whilst getting a certain look for, I don't know, capturing the imagination, I suppose. Ushabti Bone is next. And I'm doing his fangs. His fangs, his teeth. There we go. Blood Tracker Brown. Now, for Blood Tracker Brown, I'm using that to go on the handle of the cleaver. Like I say, in the old days, I would have had maybe a handful of paints. Maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 at the most, probably. 1, maybe 2 brushes. I wouldn't have had a clue what I was doing paint-wise. But I would have known. I think if I remember rightly, hang on, Baltan green, shading the skin now, like, and I do shade it again later because I wasn't happy with the first look. But if I remember the old days, I painted some trolls with bright blue jackets, which is just craziness. Yeah, it would have all be done differently nowadays if I was doing it now. Yeah, I put this shade wash on, and I go back in later and do it again. I think because I wasn't happy with the overall look. Didn't seem washed enough for me, but that's okay. There we are. Agrax Earthshade is next. Now, Agrax Earthshade is quite a strong shade wash, and you usually don't have to do a couple of coats of that. It's usually more than enough. In fact, a lot of the time you need to thin it down. I didn't this time, I just slathered it on. I figured he'd be quite dirty anyway, running around the dungeons or whatever he does in his spare time. I don't know what he'll do in his future. I'm leaving the base, by the way, today on this tutorial. I'm leaving the base till I've done, all the Heroquest figures I want to do, and then we'll do the bases. I'll pick one and do the base, do that as a tutorial, and I'll use that on all of them. Right, so we're going back in. I'm going back in with the Baltan green because, like I say, I just wasn't happy with the first one. It wasn't enough for me, so I just wanted to put that on there a bit more. Really bring out the recesses of his musculature, as it were. And then I was a lot happier with it once I'd done that. Of course, I guess it could depend on the type of green you use for your base coat. That's all plays into it, doesn't it? Alright, Rune Fang Steel is what I used. I was just doing a simple highlight on the edges of the cleaver there because I wanted that. I really wanted that to be just a little more eye-catching than it would have been in the olden days. Like I say, we're not trying to win any awards with this. Just trying to make it a slight improvement on what I would have done originally. And I say originally, I would have just painted it silver and left it at that. But I just want a slight improvement on this. So who knows? I may end up collecting the game. I don't know. I'm certainly going to try and do all of the figures from it, at least one of the figures from it, so that we get a full tutorial experience for the Heroquest classic look. I just put some highlights on his other silver areas, on his wrist guard there. and a couple bits on his mail shirt. Right, Balthazar Gold. I wanted to do the skull belt buckle thing in the middle of his belt there, and a couple of the studs going around his belt and on his wrist guard. So that's really what I wanted to achieve there. It's just something. It's still metallic. It's different. It pops out at you, and it says, "Look, this is good." This is different from the silver behind me, and yeah, just a little bit eye-catching without being too over the top. At least that was the idea here. Because you could take this much further. You could do all sorts of highlights. You could do extra highlights on everything. But like I say, they're classic models and they don't need much blood for the blood god. I wanted him to be an orc that had probably just cleaved someone's head off or a limb from their body. So I just put a little bit of blood on with a downward motion, making it look as if he's just cleaved it in that direction. So I don't know how many of these guys I'll end up doing, but I will do the same paint scheme for all of them. I won't give all of them blood on their cleavers, but yeah. So I just, like I say, and you can stop there, guys, if you want to. I just wanted to go a little bit further. All right, back to a Badham Black, and I wanted to fill in his eyes recesses. I didn't really want to paint eyes, but I just wanted to give it a dark recess in the eyes, because I think that's more than good enough for a board game such as Heroquest, particularly with those figures. I feel that, in the shadows, that's all you would probably see. Alright, Screaming Skull. Just putting some highlights on his tunic. Making that pop a bit more. Like I say, you could have left it at the earlier stage, but we're just going a tiny bit further now. Just a little bit. I suppose I could have gone backwards to Andrew Dust, but I felt that was too subtle. I think on miniatures such as this, they're almost caricatures, almost, I say. And so, you want to be quite exaggerated with some of the stuff you do, but not overtly so, not like, not cartoony, but I don't know, you just want to make it, you want to make the eye, draw the eye to the point, look at this. This is your orc, and here he is. And I was happy with the overall look, I have to say. Yeah, it looks rather good, I felt. Again, you can stop at any point. Do a slight highlight on his fangs. Lauren Forest is, I think this is the last extra thing I do, because I think you could go on and on with this, and I was just putting some highlights on his skin, since he'd had two Baltan green washes. I felt the Lauren Forest was a great complement to the Warg flesh, and really helps to bring out some subtle highlights on the skin, which I would love to have been able to have done back in the day, 20 plus, maybe 30 years ago. Probably not 30 years ago, but it's 20 plus something years ago that I had the game, and I just wanted to get them out there. Yeah, these excellent. Very enjoyable putting the colours on this model and bringing it to life. Gives me fond gives me memories of how fond my memories were of this game. And there you go. Like I say, I'm going to leave the base for another time. I think originally with my original game, I just painted it all black or something, or grey or something like that. But there you go. That's my tutorial. That's my first Heroquest tutorial. Please consider supporting me on Patreon if you've a mind. You can click onto the link from my home screen. There's a link to the Patreon page, and it will give you access to exclusive videos with no ads, of course. And it's just, for as little as $1 a month, that's all I need. And times are hard. I need every penny I can get. But please consider supporting me. If you can't support me monetarily, that's fine. Please like the video. That goes a huge way to supporting me. Increases the chances of the YouTube algorithm looking at my video, going, "Hey, look, this is a popular video. We'll push this out there to more viewers." And that way I can claw a little back from the AdSense from that. And sharing is another great way of supporting me as well. Just sharing the video, that would be fantastic as well on any sort of platform you like. But anyway, that's my Orc with Cleaver tutorial. I hope you've enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed painting him. Look out for more Heroquest models in the future. And remember, all brushes lead to war. I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now, folks. Bye-bye.